Hi, this is Robert Lee Camp, and I'm here to introduce you to the latest version of our Love Cards Reporter software, which was just completed here in May. And this software will work on both PC computers and also on Mac computers. It does not work on iPads or iPhones, so keep that in mind in case you're wondering. This program has a lot of it has the same features as the previous versions, but it has some new features as well. So for those of you who are new to this software, it creates 3 different kinds of reports, and these reports are much more accurate than the Love Cards book. The Love Cards book, by its very nature, is a compromised version of the entire system that's used to do relationship readings. So you can get a pretty good reading from the Love Cards book, but you're really missing out on a lot. Just for starters, the Love Cards book doesn't know the planetary ruling card of the person you're reading for, so it can't integrate that in there. The program does that for you, and it executes over, like, in some cases, over 50 different comparisons between different cards, between birth cards, ruling cards, karma cards of those, and so forth. So it really gives you a complete list of all the connections between two people. For example, this particular fictitious couple, we look at the connections list here, and we have a total of 21 connections between them. On this page, you'll see the top 10 connections. And you'll see we have an intimate, friends and family, and business associates here. So when you click on an interpretation, there's a different interpretation if this connection is friends and family or business. The connections will not change, but the interpretation will change. So if you're doing like a business associates and you click on the Venus here and you read this, it's not going to say anything about love or sex or marriage or anything like that. It's going to talk about how it would be if you were working with this person for whatever reason. Okay? So that's the same as in the previous program. And it also creates 3 different reports, different kinds of reports, depending on which one of these 3 things you have clicked here: intimate, friends and family, or business. Okay, so what's some of the other basic features of the program? You saw the connections list. This gives you, I've seen as many as 45 connections in this list, but you have to understand that I've given ratings here. This is what I think, like the top 10 connections. The first one is, in my opinion, 25% of the whole relationship, what is experienced by the couple. The second one will be 20%. The third will be 15%. Now, this is an unusual relationship here that they have 5 Venuses in the first 10 connections. That's quite unusual. But it'll show you whatever you have. And really, when you get down to like the 8th connection, you're looking at 5%. So these are things that may or may not even be noticed by the couple. Okay? So, but if you felt like, let's say we had, this is number 8, 9, 10 here. If you felt like, oh, this should be up higher in the list, I would like to see that show up higher up in the list of priorities because I know this couple and I think it's important. So you could move that up. 1, 2, 3. You can move it up to wherever you want. Okay, so now that Saturn connection is now number 5. Okay. Now the interpretations in this program are way more in depth than what's in the Love Cards book, and it incorporates the names of the people and their pronouns in its description. So it reads like a story about your relationship. In addition to that, it has an affirmation for every single connection on how this couple can get the best out of this connection in their relationship. Like there are some cases where a connection can be more utilized if there's a certain knowledge about it, certain understanding about it by the couple. So it tells you that here in this interpretation. What you also have when you click on any one of these interpretations, you have this more information button, which this is what is written in the Love Cards book all about that particular connection. And it gives you a little bit more in-depth understanding for those who want to learn how the system really works and what really it's all about. You can read this more information about the connection and get more in-depth knowledge about it. Or you can go back to the meaning of this connection for this particular couple. Okay? So that holds true for all of these connections on this page. Okay. There's all kinds of stuff. We also have added in this one indexes for the relationship. These are in the Love Cards book. They're called attraction, compatibility, and intensity. I've renamed compatibility into harmony. I just like that word harmony. I think it's kind of cool. We give these a value. I've given these a value based on my experience of how much or how little every single connection adds to these indexes in a relationship. And I've gone through them all. And you can actually change them yourself. You can go to Preferences, adjust Compatibility Indexes, and you'll see all the different connections that are being used in the program. I don't know, there's about 35 or something. You can click on any one and you can say, okay, Johnny is moved to Test. Test is the second person. You can say, well, okay, 10 attraction, I don't know, maybe it should be 7 attraction. So you just change it there. And now you've got a different meaning, a different index there. And it will reflect immediately when you click this, close this out, it will reflect in the values given here. I don't know if that's going to make a difference here because there is one moon connection. It wasn't enough because in this particular situation, the moon connection is only 7%. So it didn't really change anything. If I change Venus, it might make a difference. Okay, so preferences, I'm going to go back and change that to 10 because I think 10 is what it needs to be. Let's go back. Okay. Now, on every page of this program is a button that has a tutorial of some kind that teach you how to use everything on the page. Like this is the button down here for the connection list, how to use it. The relationship index, how to use it. Every single page, including these pages here where we're adjusting the index, is a how-to index button there. That will open up a video in your web browser which will explain in detail all about that function and how to use it. Okay, what's also included here is marriageability. And marriageability looks for factors in the birth card and ruling cards of the person that's doing the reading. Factors that would take away from their ability to be a perfectly marriageable person. So you can see this test person number, test person only gets a 4, and it's because there's so many different things here that are affecting this person's ability to keep a good relationship. So this is mostly taken from the Love Cards book. And I've made some adjustments to values. You'll notice that on this particular one, there's 2 freedoms. That's because both of her cards, the Queen of Clubs and the Ace of Clubs, have freedom issues. So they're listed there twice. And likewise, you can change those by the marriageability table. You can go to any card. This is a Queen of Clubs right here. So that's I happen to know that's number 26. Nope, 25. 20. Oh, that's funny. Okay, where did it go? Where did it go? There we go, 25. There we go. And you can see what I've done is, here's the overall rating on the Queen of Clubs. It only gets a 1. Why? Because of these factors. Now, there's a detailed explanation on how to use this screen, but I'm just going to say that you can adjust these. If you think from your experience that they should be different, you can adjust them. Okay? So you can go to make a report. You have the relationship report, the 3 different kinds of relationship reports, which means you have the intimate, friends and family, and business. The reports usually, if there's 10 connections, it's going to be about 18, 19 pages long. Let's just do one real quick. This is an intimate relationship. And you can include the compatibility indexes. It does not include the marriageability in the reports. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but I'm not going to go into it. So we're going to run this report real quick. And here you have it. You can't see the whole page, but there's the title page. Here's the introduction. So you can give this report to people who have no knowledge of the cards, and they will understand what the report's telling them. So it first talks about the birth card and ruling card of each person. It gives a description. And if they have a decanate ruling card, it'll say that there too. Then it gives an overview of all the connections in their order of importance. And then it goes through each connection one by one, tells you how much of the relationship it comprises, and gives you that detailed interpretation that includes the affirmations for each of the 10, in this case 10 connections that they have. Now this can be printed to a printer, or you can print it to a PDF. You get a PDF printer and you can print this and then email it to somebody. Okay. You also have a Find Love report, which looks through the person's cards. It's not going to show you the cards here, but if you have one of my other software programs, you can look and see. It'll find everything. What it does is it'll look for every occurrence of a card that could mean a new relationship in the life of this person. Let's just do 4 years. You can do up to 10 years at a time, and you can change the starting date. Like this person, this is actually, right now, it's May of 2021, so they haven't even had this birthday yet. So I could start on this last birthday, which was last December, about 4 or 5 months ago. And then you click on Run the Report, and you've got there in a list starting with the first occurrence done by date. So the first one was in February, which he had a vertical Venus. He had a 4 of hearts in the vertical Venus position. It gives you an interpretation of it. It tells you how powerful it is. Like, power means like, how strong is that? How much of a chance from 1 to 10 will it have in creating a new relationship? So that's pretty strong. A vertical Venus 4 of hearts is a pretty strong influence. Some of them, like a vertical Jupiter, only got a power rating of 4, not so strong. Okay. But some of them, like, here's a 4 of hearts in Venus itself, that gets a 10 on the power rating. Okay. Now you can also change these things, and we'll show you that in a minute. But once you have you can just look at anybody's spreads and look at it that way. Then you can print the report out and you can give it to them if you want. It'll give them a title page, an introduction that explains how it reads and how to use it. And then it gives those same dates with the interpretation, with the power, how long it lasts, and so forth. It'll either be 52 days or 365 days, depending on the influence. Okay? And again, there's a video here that explains that. Okay. You also have, you can also print out the connection list. It'll print the first 20 connections in their connection list. It doesn't print beyond 20. So if you really want a connection that's lower than 20 to get in there, you have to move it up. Okay? But you can print this out in the same way. And it gives the cards involved, gives you a brief explanation, what spread it's in, and the position that it stands in the spread that it's in. Like these are, the card number 1 is in position 15 of the life spread, and the card number 2, the Queen of Clubs, is in position 3 of the life spread. Long story, but there's a detailed explanation of this in the program. Okay? So you've got, this screen is really nice because you can size it to any size you want. If it's too big, you can make it smaller. If it's too small, you can make it bigger. You can basically, and you can set it. You can say save screen size, and when the program starts, that's the size it will go. Or you can say restore it back to the original size, which I just did, and we have it saved. These are also in the other Book of Destiny Reader Edition, by the way. And speaking of Reader Edition, if you already have the Reader Edition, you already have a database of clients, and you might want to use that. So what you can do is you can just click on Help, Use Reader Edition Database, and it'll say you're now using the Reader Edition database, and whatever clients you have in there, you'll have access to. And you can go back to the Love Cards database, where there's only like 3 clients in here. They're all fictitious people. So you have the ability to use that. It saves it. So next time you start the program, if you just want to use your Reader Edition clients and not have to mess with the second database, you can just ignore that and just use the Reader Edition, Book of Destiny 6.0 Reader Edition. Okay, we've looked at all these. Here's the marriageability factors. I think we already talked about that. There's a detailed video on how to change it, the marriageability. Then we have report footer. Okay, so when you do a report, at the bottom of the page there is, it'll say report by. On all these different reports, it'll say report by, and you get to put what you want there so that people who get your reports know where they got it, and they might know how to get back in touch with you. Okay? Let's see, anything else we got here? Report a bug, unregister, reports. No, view. We got view the magic circle, and then gives an explanation. This is kind of cool to know. This is the magic circle of 45. Then it has also view the life and spiritual spread. And these are actually, it's actually mentioned in the connection interpretations about what spread it's in and why and what importance that is. So you might want to have this handy if you're reading some of these. When you click on it and you click on more information, it'll tell you to look at the spreads in the program, okay, as an example that it gives to how to understand it. So you basically have everything you need here to do any kind of relationship reading or report for anybody, with new features that are not in our previous versions, that it works on PC and Mac. It's highly customizable. Well, by the way, you can also change all the colors of the screens. You can change what tab starts out when the program opens up. You can do all these things. You have all these different options to customize the program to your liking. So I hope you enjoy this program. I'm excited. It's over 10,000 lines of computer code to make this program. I counted them up. I couldn't believe it. It took me, I think, 3 months to redo this program. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for watching.